Greetings and welcome to another episode of Let's Play 2 Point Hospital. Alright. Need to raise the level of the hospital. So let's build another GP's office. Actually, no, stop that. We can do something a little bit more useful. The copy room function, which wasn't originally in the game at launch, but which I am very grateful for that they patched in. Because, yeah, you need to do a lot of copying of rooms by the end of most levels. Especially of GP's offices. Whereas in Theme Hospital, I believe the ideal bed phase, get patient to wait. Whereas in the original Theme Hospital, I felt the optimal GP's office to diagnosis rooms was 2 to 1, basically. So 2 diagnosis rooms and then a GP's office to manage them. In 2 Point Hospital so far, I have found that it's basically a 1-to-1 ratio. So for every diagnosis room you have, you need another GP's office at some point in the future. Which is, I feel, a little bit ridiculous to some degree, but you know, that's the game. Right, so we need a ward. Let's just put down a ward somewhere. Now the ward is one of those weird rooms that has 2 functions, which is basically diagnosis and curing. There's not many of those, so you do have to know what you're doing while you're building these. Alright, and let's get some beds in here. Always tricky to find ways to get it to be perfectly helpful. Alright, that's probably enough. Let's get a bin in here, some windows. Plants. And the rest can pretty much wait. Alright, hospital level is now 4, so we get access to the lightheadedness room. Right, so the wards can be used for diagnosis and also treat a range of illnesses. The nurse is required to admit each patient, look after them, and then discharge them when they're ready to leave. With multiple beds to a ward to deal with more than 1 patient at a time. You can also adjust the number of nurses that should work in the room setting. This is useful if you have a lot of patients. This is indeed true. If you need to, you can add the number of patients here, and you can also tell if you want only diagnosis or treatment patients, which is useful. Again, something they added in later, just in case you're wondering. Alright, so now we need to earn money. Well, that was quick, but we have a death. Why did you die? Alright, so we can see. Chance of success was 55% because the illness is quite difficult, the staff skill was not high enough, and other than that, well, there was nothing else we could do. Alright, so do we have a nurse with ward? We do, but it's a bit of a... yeah, bit of a problem. Hospital star rating. The 2 Point Health Ministry is keen to recognize the achievements of every hospital in the county. If we can build a hospital that satisfies the needs of the local area, the hospital will be awarded an official star rating. This will be great for our organization. Not only does each star come with associated rewards, but it will also allow us to establish new hospitals around the county. Continue to expand the hospital to acquire a 1-star rating. Alright, so kudos, so that's fine. We need to cure people with lightheadedness, which we cannot do because we have access to the deluxe clinic. Yep, patient death, which can turn into a ghost, which I kind of hope it doesn't do that in this level because it's a little bit annoying to deal with, but overall it's fine. Alright, so deluxe clinic, it doesn't need to be this big, but I'm just filling space now. So let's just get it put into position. Right, so that's fine. mean, later on we'll probably be adding more stuff to rooms to fulfill requirements as necessary. But at the moment we can do with a lot of, well, hand wavies. This is after all a tutorial level, although admittedly I didn't find that the difficulty spiked very much until Duckworth on Bilge, which is a particular challenge. Alright, so since we now have the deluxe clinic, we definitely need a doctor that can cure. Alright, so you can just come in. Get another one of you. Now we have not unlocked any new rooms that I can think of we'll definitely need. Right now we've got the correct number of GP's offices to diagnosis rooms, and I don't feel like building another ward to deal with any more diagnosis. So that just speed things along. And just watch the people get beheaded and then give it a new head. Now, the chance of curing it is 81%. Basically because of the skill of the doctor, the level of the machine, and the difficulty of the disease. And you'll find it very frustrating how often 81% is basically giving you a range of death equal to how easy it is to hit in XCOM. Because, damn it, we have a ghost, and I don't have a janitor that can handle ghosts. Well, you just need to wait until a new one appears in 12 days. Right now the ghosts don't really do anything, they just scare people and make them waste their stamina a bit, I believe. But overall it doesn't change much about the hospital functions. But they will keep hanging around, being annoying. Now, capturing ghosts can be important later when we have unlocked the research, because capturing ghosts that have a disease that you have not fully researched will improve the research in that particular disease, even if you're not researching that disease at the moment. Right, let's just keep waiting for more deluxe patients.
I've started exploring past lives.
Or
hypnotizing myself with pendulums.
lightheadedness patients, rather.
But I find listening to my own voice works best. I say one thing, and then another thing. And I say one thing, and then
Another nurse going.
It's possible you're now hypnotized.
Now, of course, I do want to be careful that I don't overspend. But right now my revenue is much better than my losses, so... Alright, September... Please cure her. Her. We do get this helpful little message every month. Alright, so... Congratulations, your hospital has been awarded 1-star rating. That's 1 out of possible 3 by the 2-Point Health Ministry. I have retrieved your file from my bin to celebrate. Continue to develop your enterprise in Hoxport for further esteem and trinkets. I believe if you believe that you are capable of more. Alternatively, run before you can walk and begin to expand your organization by opening a new hospital in Lower Bullocks. Choice, as they say, is yours. Yours frequently, Tarquin Foxbridge, Health Minister. Alright, so we unlocked the lightheadedness poster and up Lower Bullocks. So let's open the map.
Rise and shine, everyone. And if you happen to be in Lower Bullocks this morning, watch out for the gathering of druids down at Grogben's Ring. In a total coincidence, the town will also pay host to a psychology convention today. Should all work out nicely.
Yeah, totally unrelated. Alright, so we'll just leave Hoxport and go to Lower Bullocks. It's a lovely little village with a big problem. A significant portion of the population believe themselves to be rock stars. There's only one thing that can cure this: psychiatry. Only doctors with psychiatry qualification will be able to diagnose and treat hospital in the psychiatry room. We've managed to find one, but you should keep your eyes peeled for job applicants with psychiatry and other useful qualifications. This is indeed true. If we just have a look at the hires, at the moment we have, well, him, who has psychiatry 2, which is quite neat. I'll hire him anyway. He's a bit expensive, and you definitely don't want to overhire, although it's not that much of a problem at this stage of the game. And let's also get a nurse. I tend to never want litterers, because that's just annoying. You can come. Now, in this early level we cannot train our staff, so getting staff that has the right qualifications definitely useful. And we can expand our hospital if so needed. Plots of land around. It does take time for plots of land to become available, so do plan around accordingly. Right, so we need a psychiatry, which is absolutely fine. We'll just build it opposite the office here. With some windows opposite. And we put a light-headed disposer in. Now, there's nothing stopping you from just plastering this wall with light-headed posters. And each one will add a little bit more to the prestige of the room. I tend to not do that because I found that very, very boring. But you can do it if you want to. There's nothing stopping you. Certainly not me. I am totally not guilting you in ever doing that. This is totally on you. It is totally your fault if your hospital looks boring. But don't let me stop you. Absolutely. Go right ahead. Put those damn posters everywhere. I'm just saying. Right, so we've been contacted by Bungle Technologies, which is the primary technology provider in 2 Point County, who run various research hospitals around the county. They have an interesting proposition for us. Their psychiatry license was recently revoked due to an incident with... Well, it's best not to go into it. They want to send us psychiatry patients, and in exchange they will allow us to buy some of their latest technology. Until our organization acquires a research license, we need all the technology we can get our hands on. Which is indeed true. Alright, the hospital needs to be leveled up. So, let's get some more rooms built. Now, you don't have to build square or rectangle rooms. You really don't. You can, but you don't need to. It's entirely up to you. In fact, I posited the idea of building Tetris-shaped rooms. Now, I've never done this myself, partially because it's just a little bit too much of a hassle when you're just playing for fun. When you're playing for efficiency, because, well, let's be honest here, you're not going to be very efficient if you have to, if you build your rooms that way. However, I find this shape to be somewhat useful, as it will prevent people from getting stuck in this particular one space hallway. Now, what do I mean by stuck? This path here is just wide enough for one person to walk through. Now, the physics in this game are so that if there's someone in a hallway, the other people cannot really fit past, although they can sometimes squeeze past. This usually doesn't really cause a problem with the pathing because it's generally good enough, but it will occasionally confuse the AI into a point where they can no longer figure out how to get anywhere.
Don't forget to
Now,
tip your doctor.
if you put your door here, that essentially puts the person who's waiting to go through the door in the hallway, blocking essentially the passage for other people. Putting the door like that abates that a little bit. Right, so we have been given access to a new machine. We don't have a pharmacy yet, so we can't implement that. Now, I could rearrange all this furniture, but I'm not going to. Let's get the drug mixer in. Alright. And we already have a nurse, I think. We had some staff all around. Let's see, we had a couple of doctors. You're fine enough. The emotional intelligence is a quirky little quality. It's strictly speaking never necessary to add that to your staff. In fact, there is only one level that I believe that it is actually useful, and even there, it's not really necessary. Alright, let's get another GP's office. I probably should put some chairs down, but you know, busy.
Looks like the healthcare branch of the Holistics company, known to some as Hemp, is in trouble again. Apparently, Elixir, their latest product which claims to cure all ills, is in fact nothing but pine-scented prune juice. Well, I guess it should cure one ill at least.
It's also kinda neat that if you fail to cure someone, it does not necessarily mean they die. But of course, not curing people of their Mockstar ability or a disease is not a good outcome. It does hurt your reputation a little bit. But overall, I'm in favor of not killing people. So let's improve our drug mixer now that we have the technology for that.
Reminded not to be sick.
Alright, so we need a ward. Let's get the patient to wait. And the ward doors are always a bit of a tricky thing to place. You can't put them in the corners or anywhere near adjacent to the wall. Alright, we don't need to make it all that big, I guess. Although we can always edit a room later, so... We also need a screen, otherwise people can't change. Alright, that's enough beds. Let's get another nurse going. Alright, fine, you can do it. I hate having a lizard in the hospital, but for lack of something better, you can come in. Alright, you are also good enough. Definitely do not want any janitors with the litterer bonus. Alright. And let's also get a staff room before we forget. Actually, this one can be a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'll stop when I've finished. Right, that'll do. And that's it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time.